Hello everyone, it's time for the custom card review, in which I review custom cards that have been sent in once a month. It used to be something I did weekly, but I have been very busy recently. So, in today's episode, we will be looking at a Cloudian archetype, or some Cloudian support, sent in recently on my Twitter. That's where you send in custom cards. I have people sending me custom cards in through a whole bunch of different kinds of different avenues. I only accept the ones sent in through Twitter though. So, first up, we have Cloudian ACCUMULUS. This is a Cloudian card. Cloudians are a very famous archetype. I guess the right word is called infamous, because they're famous for being bad. And infamous is specifically a word which is famous for being bad, so that fits them pretty well. They're an infamous archetype. They're not that bad though, despite their infamy. They all have these effects where they can't be destroyed by battle, and when they're put into defense position, they destroy themselves. So, I don't know if these cards are going to have it. I haven't actually read them yet, but they were sent in by someone who sends in custom cards a lot, so I assume they did an okay job with them. So, Fairy type, water, level 4, 1700 attack. The stats check out for Cloudians. Gains 400 attack for each fog counter on it. Alright. Once per turn, you can target one monster your opponent controls. Reduces attack by 400. Then place one fog counter on this card. Okay. So it's trying to pull a sneaky one. It's having a beneficial effect as a cost. Kind of like a Kaleidoscope, the Lunalight card, which sends a Lunalight from your deck to the graveyard as a cost in order to activate an effect. Generally costs need to be costs. If you want to make it good, I guess your cost could just be a beneficial effect. To get a fog counter on it, which is good. It will gain 400 attack for that fog counter. It will make your opponent lose 400 attack. Okay. Once per turn, you can remove one fog counter from this card, then target one other Cloudian monster you control against 400 attack. Also, until the end of your opponent's next turn, it cannot be targeted or destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Okay, that's better. Well, that's not super good. It doesn't have the effects to not be destroyed by battle, nor the effect to destroy itself if it's put into defense position. So I guess that was by design. I'm just going to assume he forgot to add those to it. That's a hallmark of Cloudian monsters, is to have those two effects, and it doesn't have either of them. So this one's fine to be put into defense position. It also can be destroyed by battle, and it deals with it only puts a fog counter on itself. Like some of the good Cloudian monsters are able to remove fog counters from any card, and this one can only remove it from itself in order to put it on someone else and then give them attack and stuff. Okay, that one's kind of mediocre. Let's go on to the next one. Cloudian SUGARDROP. Level 1 Fairy Union. Ooh. This card's name becomes Cloudian Smoke Bauble in the graveyard. Oh, that's good. There's a Cloudian monster who is able to convert Cloudian cloud tokens, cloud counters, into Cloudian monsters on the field in the same way Mystic Shineball can be brought out. Except it's worse because it requires cloud counters, so it's not as easily splashed as the Mystic Shineballs are, which you just have to pay life points for. But if this one counts as Smoke Bauble in the graveyard, if it has a good effect, that could actually be useful. Once per turn, you can either target one face-up monster you control, equip this card to that target, or unequip this card and special summon it. Once per turn, when this card is equipped to a Cloudian monster, you can banish one Cloudian monster from your graveyard. Then place fog counters on the monster this card is equipped to, equal to the level of the monster banished by this effect. Wait, what? You can banish one Cloudian monster from your graveyard, then place fog counters on the monster this card is equipped to, equal to the level of the monster banished by this effect. Okay, that's good actually. It allows you to convert monsters in the graveyard into fog counters to the monster it's equipped to. So it's in a union card that can give the monster it's equipped to fog counters. That's actually pretty good in Cloudian decks. I think they would actually like that effect. This card, and also really easy to special summon too. If you just mill this into the graveyard, it can be brought out really easily. Thanks to the one card that can bring out Smoke Balls And it doesn't have the effect to destroy itself if it's in defense position, nor does it have the effect to not be destroyed by battle. So it's kind of missing the Cloudian effects. Cloudian Pollutant. All of these are just regular Cloudian cards with like different color schemes. This one is based off of Poison Cloud, I think, which is like a level 3 fiend in the Cloudian archetype. He's noticeable because I remember I used to use him occasionally with Tour Guide from the Underworld. Level 10, I think. I'm not gonna count all those stars. You can special summon this card from your hand to your opponent's field in attack position by attributing one monster they control. When this card is special summoned, place fog counters on this card equal to the number of Cloudian monsters on the field, except Cloudian Pollutant. During your standby phase, remove one fog counter from this card and take 1000 damage. While this card has fog counters on it, it cannot attack. You can only control one Cloudian Pollutant. So it's like a kaiju? Kind of. Place fog counters on this card equal to the number of Cloudian monsters on the field, except Cloudian Pollutant. Okay, during your standby phase, remove one fog counter from this card and take 1000 damage. Okay, so that's like the negative effect, kind of like a Lava Golem, how it deals damage during the standby phase. But it has to remove fog counters in order to do that. And it has to do the... What if it doesn't have fog counters? Well, this card has fog counters on it, it cannot attack. You can only control one Cloudian Pollutant. So, there is a card that places fog counters on everything, I believe. So, the assumption would be to give this to your opponent. It wouldn't have fog counters on it. While this card has fog counters on it, it cannot attack. So if it has fog counters on it, you don't want it to have fog counters on it. You basically give this to your opponent and give them a whole bunch of fog counters and they can't use it and they just take damage every turn. But if you just use it normally outside of its deck, it won't have any fog counters and they can use it no problem. I think that's the intended use of the card. In that case, it's a worse kaiju. But I guess it is an archetype-specific kaiju, in which case it's still a worse kaiju. Because if you just use the turtle kaiju, it has less attack, so you can beat over it easier. And a tiny bit of burn damage, where you have to waste your fog counters on it, isn't really worth it. Unless you're trying to stall out, which is not a good strategy. And then we have Cloudian Cyclone. This looks like a retrain of the normal Cloudian Cyclone. I think that's his name. It might not be. And then we have Cloudian Cyclone. I think this is just a complete retrain of an existing Cloudian monster. Thunder effect, wind, yeah, it sounds almost exactly like that one. While this card is in your hand and you control at least one Cloudian monster, you can target one continuous spell or trap card on the field. Destroy it. What? And you control at least one Cloudian monster. Destroy it. Then special summon this card. So you have to destroy a continuous spell or trap in order to special summon this card from your hand. That's not half bad, I guess, because it is a pretty big beat stick, and special summoning cards from your hand is always really good. You can target one face-up spell or trap card on the field, destroy it, then place one fog counter on this card. One face-up spell or trap card, so that's not as easy to use. Okay, it's another one of those things that has a cost, which is actually a benefit, so it just has two effects. Although since it's a cost, you can't negate its effect to destroy cards. That's pulling another sneaky one. That's something you only really see in custom cards. It's very rare that a card has a cost, which is a benefit. It does exist. Definitely does. It's just rare. Like Card Trooper. He sends cards from the top of your deck to the graveyard as a cost. Like, he can still use that under skill drain. It is a benefit. But it's meant to be a cost, and it can realistically be seen as a cost. And then there's Kaleidoscope, which is like the lone exception, I think, which has a really good cost for an effect. And that's why that card sees play. And then there's the Rusty Bardiche. I talked about him recently in a video, though, when people said his effect was actually just two effects and not a cost. Because he requires you to send a Phantom Knight from your deck to the graveyard in order to set a card. Apparently both of those go off at the same time though, or they're both effects. So it can be like Ash Blossom to get both of those. Whatever. If your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, you can remove one fog counter from this card, negate the activation, then destroy that card. Alright, that's super good. You can only use each effect of Cloudian Cyclone once per turn. So, this is definitely the best of the bunch. It allows you to destroy a card in order to bring itself out from the hand. It allows you to destroy cards as a cost in order to place fog counters on the field. And it has a negate, which I don't think you can only use each effect of Cloudian Cyclone once per turn. So it has a hard once per turn all of its effects. Which is funny because none of the other cards have hard once per turns, I believe. And all of them, like, it has that last effect. You can only use each effect of Cloudian Cyclone once per turn. Whereas 2 of the other cards have like 2 once per turns in their effects. Where it says like once per turn you can do this. And then has another effect. Once per turn you can do this. And I remember thinking with Cloudian ACCUMULUS, because it says once per turn you can target one monster your opponent controls and reduces attack. And then immediately afterwards it says once per turn you can remove one fog counter. Like, this last card has its effect done right. It just has a bunch of effects, and at the very end it says you can only use each one of them once per turn. To save space on the card. Yeah, so this one's pretty good. Okay, the last one, a field spell card, Cloudian ASCENT. When this card is activated, add 1 Cloudian monster from your deck to your hand. Okay, that's good. You can activate the effect of Cloudian monsters with fog counters on them as quick effects. Ooh, it's kind of like the time that's Dark Machine Monsters Orcus. There we go, like the Orcus one. If this card is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, or the effect of a Cloudian monster, draw 2 cards. Then, if it was destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower Cloudian monster from your hand. You can only activate this effect of Cloudian ASCENT once per turn. Like, those are 3 good effects on it, and I think it's not enough. Like, I mean, you don't want to put a whole bunch of power effects into one card. It's just Cloudians on their own have so many inherent flaws to them that even with a field spell card this strong, I don't think it would help. It just like adds a Cloudian to your hand. Yeah, that's already really good on its own. It allows you, it turns your Cloudian effects into quick effects. There are Cloudian cards that can destroy monsters and spell and traps. So that's pretty good. It also allows you to, there's that card that destroys cards as a cost, so you wouldn't be able to negate it. Actually, that would probably work. Like, they would be so reliant on the field spell, though, that they would be garbage without it out. And then it also has an effect to draw 2 cards when it's destroyed. Let's see, if this card is destroyed by an opponent's card effect or the effect of a Cloudian monster. You see, one of your cards destroys face-up spell or traps as a cost, though. So that wouldn't be destroying it by a card effect. Or maybe it would. I don't know, Yu-Gi-Oh terms are kind of confusing. Whatever. Anyways, this field spell card, it's pretty good. Cloudians, though, are so bad. I don't know if that'd be enough. Okay. So, looking over all of the cards, I like the idea behind the Union monster. Equipping it to a Cloudian monster so that it gives them fog counters. That's pretty good. The Kaiju is kind of bad. Cloudian Cyclone is kind of ridiculous. It's pretty good. Cumulus isn't very good though. It's and they also, none of them have the Cloudian effect on them. None of them are destroyed if they go into defense position, and none of them have battle destruction prevention. So, are they really Cloudian cards? I don't know. They're alright, I guess. So if I was to grade this, how do I grade things again? Let's see, that field spell card is super good. The rest of them aren't really up to par, though. I'd have to give this one a C. A C, That's how I grade things, right? A, B, C, D, E, F, S, S tier. It's not S tier. I'd probably give this a solid C. That's my review for these Cloudian custom cards. All right, so let's see. With that, if you wish to send in some custom cards for me to review, I'm going to try my best to actually do this once a week instead of once every couple of months. I've just been busy, but I'm always busy, so I need to just find ways to make time for it anyway. If you wish to send me in cards, send them to my Twitter. It'll be linked in the video description. Twitter / TheDuelLogs, I think. If you send in cards, make sure you have screenshot card artworks. You know, if you're sending me a link to custom cards you made on Dueling Book or whatever it's called, I'm not going to like take screenshots of them for you, because there's lots of people who do take screenshots of their cards and send them in. So I'd rather just prioritize the people who did that instead. And also, if you want help on custom cards, there should be a link in the description which goes over a guide someone made that's super in-depth on how to make custom cards correctly. There's also some custom card discords. I'm part of so many discords. Like, you know, as a YouTuber, I'm a YouTuber for 2 different channels that are both moderately successful. And because of that, I know a lot of other like YouTubers and friends and stuff. And I get requested to join a whole bunch of servers. So I'm currently part of like 50 Discord servers. Yeah, that occasionally I also get like fans sending me stuff too. Like, you should join our Discord. No thanks. I already have, 50 other Discords I rarely talk into. And then occasionally the custom card people will send me Discords, and like those ones make sense. Like custom cards is a pretty niche thing. If you want to talk about like Yu-Gi-Oh itself, there's lots of places you can talk about that. But if you specifically want to talk about custom cards, there are some Discords for that. And they even like host tournaments with custom cards, which is crazy. I don't know how they possibly balance that, because of the custom cards you can make whatever you want. I think most of them have like a system where they like approve cards you're allowed to use. Occasionally I'll get pings from like rules from the servers. It's like, you're not allowed to inflict damage on your first turn. It's like, ooh, someone probably made an FTK burn deck. And they have their own ban list. It's pretty great. If you really like custom cards, I'd suggest you join one of the Discords. I know of 2 of them. I don't know how active they are. I'm looking at them now as I'm talking about them, and they both look like they're still active. So I'll have links to both of those in the description as well. There's also the custom card subreddit on Reddit. I know they're pretty active, because people also sometimes just post custom cards in the normal Yu-Gi-Oh subreddit. So lots of custom card stuff out there. Plus the 4 other custom card channels that are better than me. So, that's enough about custom card stuff and talking about lots of other custom card things. I will endeavor to make more custom card videos. I don't make promises about making replay videos, because testing a deck is way more time consuming than reviewing custom cards. That's for sure. The top 10s, I hire editors to do those. Those are way more time consuming than everything else. But they also perform well enough where it's definitely worth my time. Like, I only have so much time in a day, so I have to budget it out. And most of that budget goes to actually working on videos that do well. And I have 2 channels that I have to work for. So that leaves so little time. And I don't want to work during that little time of downtime all the time. Otherwise, I would just work all day. And that's no fun either. Like, the number one regret people have when they are on their deathbed is working too much. So, I endeavor to work more. I want to regret working too much. Hopefully you guys agree. Until next time.